Good day everyone and welcome back to Quest for Alpha. I'm recording this video for the March 8th, 2026 week. So what we're going to do is just like most other weeks before, we'll go through some of the active trades that have already achieved first target, and then I'll cover some of the setups that I have for the next following weeks, things that I'm monitoring and things that I'm expecting to play out. Up front, this was definitely not one of the best weeks I've had so far. A lot of geopolitical changes in the world that are impacting the markets. So, and you will see that is actually getting carried over to some of the trades that I have been involved with. With that being said, I'd like to start with Novo Nordisk. So you can see Novo Nordisk. I've already talked about this in many different videos. This is where I wanted to enter, and I was expecting the price to go higher. When I see the price coming down, I actually was very interested because I really tried to enter this, unlike most trade setups that I have on the daily time frame and monthly. I was also looking at a longer time frame because fundamentally I believe that this stock wants to move higher. And if I look at on the 3 months time frame, this sits in a very good demand zone. Then on the time frame that's used to get the confirmation, you will go on to the weekly time frame. And on the weekly time frame, you can see that it had entered the zone, but there is still no confirmation just yet. So Novo Nordisk is a losing trade thus far. I'm personally still in it because I believe that at some point in the future, on a weekly time frame, this is going to set up somewhere here, perhaps, and then continue to go higher. You can ignore this. You can consider this very long setup. For me, I'm still in because I believe that this will move higher on a fundamental level, and I'll leave it at that. The next one on the list is Meta. Meta had an interesting week, but ultimately on Friday, it actually came down. We are still in it. I'm using a flexible stop loss. That means that for me, if this was my stop loss here, I wait for the price to show me what it wants to do. In this case, it started to consolidate here, and I said that if the price decides to drop and close below, I will get out. Instead, what the price did is started moving higher and establishing a different consolidation here. So I'm still in it until further notice. RSG is a stock that actually did better than the other ones, so it is in profit. It moved a little bit higher. And really, Novo Nordisk, Meta, and RSG, they all moved a little bit higher than last week, so that was good. MDLZ on the other side actually came down. Now you can see that the price action shows that we are below the stop loss. And my current approach and strategy thus far has been to allow the price to show me what it wants to do while in this region here below the stop loss. And in this case, we've only had a couple of candles. If this decides to, it's starting to kind of like consolidate. If it continues to go up, then I'm still in. If the price ends up dropping somewhere here, I may consider getting out. RMD is another one that appears to still be in profit. We entered at a very good level here, so we are still in profit, but I was really hoping that by now we would see a price action that takes us a lot closer to our target. Instead, it's just ranging in this region here. So it is something that I'll continue to closely monitor, and if it doesn't show me any signs, I'll probably exit somewhere sooner than later. From stocks that have achieved the first target, Equinox is still doing pretty well. Yes, it is lower from last week, but still above the 221 target. Lin ended up pulling back. So what I'm going to do with Lin, and I'm going to wait to see if it wants to come to this region. If it does, I may decide to exit the trade. Ingersoll Rand is another one that actually was above the 2-to-1, and it has been dropping consistently. If it comes to my break-even point, I'll consider exiting. CPay had achieved the 2-to-1 target. It had come down and touched my break-even point here, according to the stop loss / target / entry decision that I have made in the past. So ideally on Monday, the price starts going higher. If it comes below wicks again and touches my break-even point or closes below it, I will most probably exit this trade. CTVA is doing pretty well, still above the 2-to-1 target you can see here. Dover is a trade that I decided to exit. There was a huge pullback here at a 2-to-1, so I decided to exit this trade here. That's how I decided to manage it. Merck is still doing pretty well. See if it comes somewhere to this level, then I'll probably consider exiting. But for the time being, it's doing okay. Regeneron, again, this continues to range around the 2-to-1 target, still in profit, but that's what it is. VRTX had actually pulled back significantly from where we were last Friday, which was right here. I have not exited yet. If the price comes down all the way to the break-even point, and I may consider doing that. ALSN was doing okay, and then obviously Friday was a pretty rough day. But we're still in profits here. This is almost 5-to-1. I think if the price decides to come somewhere over here and either consolidate or decides to close, I may decide to exit this trade. For the time being, we're still in it. And then from short-term setups, let's see if anything had a chance to set up. Microsoft is still not close to a confirmation. BJ was going to be an okay, but by the time I looked at this, the price had actually came down over here. It's a low risk trade. One can actually consider going in. Me on the other side, I'm not sure if I want to participate in this stock at this point. Why? Because Netflix is setting up here, and this is really nice. You can also see on the monthly time frame, we're in a very nice demand zone. Price had actually pulled back on the daily time frame. It is setting up, so this is really the play that I'm looking to participate in, and maybe this will happen in the next week. Chipotle is it's around the demand zone. Nothing really happened here. It's trying to find a way to start moving higher, but no action here just yet. APP, there is a possibility for APP in this region, almost like I was trying to predict it last week of what price action I will be looking for. Spotify, it's another possibility, although I don't believe it's going to happen next week. We still need to have some sort of consolidation in this region here before going higher. Cigna Group, there was no opportunity here. We'll see what the price action is going to tell us. AON, perhaps this is a good consolidation. If we see all of a sudden next week a very strong bullish candle that closes above all of these different EMAs, that would be a good opportunity to get in. VST, nothing happened. The price actually collapsed. ZTS, not close to where I would like to see the price action before I enter. And Exxon, AXON, this is still a viable play. It may happen sometime next week, so we'll see, because there is a nice consolidation here. What we're really waiting for is a strong bullish candle to close above the consolidation and above the 3 EMAs. All right, well, that's really it for the stocks that are active and things that I'm looking for the next few weeks. Now, let me just flash the portfolio management tool that I use to track some of my trades, and we can take a look at how the week went by. Okay, so now we are looking at this Excel spreadsheet that shows the trade tracker that I have been filling out for the past month or so. But it does take into account all of the different stocks from November, everything that I have really talked about on this YouTube channel. You can see here that for the week of March 8th, which is today, compared to how things were last week, this was a losing week for both the approach A and approach B. Approach A is where once the target 2-to-1 is reached, you take 50% off and you let the rest run. And approach B is once the target 2-to-1 is reached, then you close out the entire position. So overall, while the week was a losing week, overall, since we started trading, we're up around 20% or so. So last week it was 28%, this week is 20%. So it did drop, I would say, pretty significantly. On the growth B, we're at 11%. So strategy A is doing a little better, or relatively better than strategy B. And then I have tried to compare this with how the S&P 500 index, so the SPY, or the NAS 1000, which is the top 1000 technology stocks, are doing. And you can take a look at it, that the growth in percentages for SPY is in the negative right now since November. So it's like minus 0.5%, and NASDAQ is like around minus 1%. So it's not that bad, but it didn't really show any growth. So if I had decided to put all of my money in any of these stocks, then I wouldn't really have moved anywhere. While if I had decided, which is what I did, to follow the approach A trade approach with all of the trades, then the portfolio would have grown around 20% or so. So anyways, this is just a visual representation. Of course, we don't know what the future is going to bring. We're just trying to follow the process to make sure that we respect our plan and decision. And with that, I'd like to end this video here. If there are any questions about what I have discussed, please feel free to leave a comment. If you like the content, feel free to like the video. But otherwise, I will be reporting on the progress of these stocks next weekend. Have a great day, everybody.